And welcome back to the New England Job Show. My name is Brian Henchy, and with us today is Bob McIntosh. He's a career trainer, a certified professional resume writer, a CPRW, and he's a LinkedIn expert. He is a workshop specialist at the Lowell Career Center, where he leads 2 LinkedIn workshops and founded a LinkedIn group. Bob says to be a success in managing your career, you must have a tenacious appetite for learning and stay on top of the latest job searching techniques. Today, Bob is teaching us how to use a key tool that everyone should use for their job search, LinkedIn. Bob McIntosh, welcome back to the New England Job Show. So let's start off with the most important aspect of LinkedIn. What do you think is the most important aspect of LinkedIn for job seekers?
Well, to me, the most important aspect of LinkedIn for job seekers is to have that healthy profile.
Okay.
And with that, develop a real good branding strategy.
Okay.
And that starts with the profile.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's akin to having a good resume. If you have a good resume and you hand it to the employer, then the employer will be impressed. If you have a great profile and the employer sees it, she will be impressed. Mm-hmm. So that, number one, is the most important part of your involvement in LinkedIn.
And an offshoot of that is, mm-hmm. I know when you do a search on LinkedIn, you can have it, I think it says something like has at least 3 recommendations or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
What was your recommendation for the minimum number of
recommendations? Well, I think six
at
is
least
at least six, yes.
And you said no more than 25, right?
Well, yeah,
okay.
For job seekers.
Okay.
Yes.
And so how should somebody maximize their use of LinkedIn? We kind of have already touched on that, but make sure your profile is up to date. Make sure you're showing your status updates of what you're doing.
Right.
Be helpful to other people,
exactly.
As well as hopefully they help you. Mm-hmm. What else am I missing here?
Well, I mean, again, it's just staying very active in the networking scene.
Okay.
In other words, letting people know that you're there. So I think also important are updates. You know, how often do you update your status? I would say at least once a day would be a good number. I try to update my status 4 times a day at least. You know, I'm employed, but I'm also trying to brand myself. I'm trying to network while I'm working. You know.
Okay.
So you know, those are some very important keys. Also, there is a feature called Answers. And what that allows you to do is answer questions that other LinkedIn members have.
This is something I'm completely unfamiliar with.
Okay.
So tell us
what this feature allows you to do, again, is to answer the questions they may have. You know, based on your expertise, what categories you feel comfortable answering the questions in, and
is it mainly job search advice, or is it technical
they're the questions
stuff,
that, you know, involve production. Let's see. Let me.
If you can find it quickly.
Yeah, I know. Okay. So in other words, if you go to More and you go to Answers, you'll find questions based on a lot of categories.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say we want to answer a question. All right. We have categories such as administration, business operations, business travel, career and education, and that's one that I would focus on. So by answering questions using this feature, it gets you better known, particularly if your answers are of high quality.
Is this something that you would say that helps you to get discovered, quote
I think
unquote?
it is. I think it is.
Okay.
As well, you may want to start a blog. You know, you may want to get your name out there by writing about your area of expertise. You know, yours could be radio announcement, TV. Did I also see that you were a chemical engineer?
Yes.
Okay. Don't mean to put you on the spot. But,
no worries.
You know, no worries.
Yeah, I'm somebody trying to change. I already changed from being a computer engineer from college and doing co-op jobs. Then I transitioned into computer engineering. Sure. And now I'm trying to start a 3rd career, which is a political talk radio show host, which you can see on my LinkedIn profile. Yep. So, so you were saying? And
also, I would imagine that you have at your access a lot of the shows that you taped. a lot of the shows that you hosted.
Yep.
So if you included that on your LinkedIn profile, I don't know if you have, but if you were to do that, then any potential employer in radio or TV would be able to see your work.
And you can do that through, actually I looked into this before, there are things called boxes, so you can actually post content. There's a bunch of other ways to post, like embed video right into your profile.
Absolutely.
But did you do that on your profile, for example?
Well, what I use the applications for are for my blog. I use, I write a blog using WordPress.com. I also like this feature called reading lists.
Okay.
So what I do is whenever I read a book that's job related or even a book for fun, I'll put it on my reading list.
Huh.
I seem to be the only one who does that because
I've never
I
heard
have
of
about
anybody
35
using
books listed, and whenever I look at other people's reading lists, not as many. But
Okay.
I like that feature a lot. It tells a lot about a person, what type of literature they read, and
Do you recommend that people keep that strictly to professional?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like if you read Twilight recently, you don't want to post that.
That's
okay.
right. Especially Twilight.
So another thing, and I have heard this before, that a lot of people, for example, I've applied to, we mentioned talk radio for me as a career, that I've applied to lots of big radio companies like Clear Channel and Entercom and Sound Communications, companies like that. I've heard about people that before they apply to any job at any company, the first thing they do is they go to LinkedIn and see if they know anybody in their network before they apply to that job, and basically try to find out who the hiring manager is for that position, or say, hey, can you recommend me for this position?
Right.
Have you done that before? Do you know people who do that, and do they do it? Do they have success from doing that?
Well, first of all, that's a great point, because that is really the essence of online networking in terms of getting contact information in a company. In terms of getting your resume or your profile in the hands of the hiring manager, that's what you want to do. And the way you do that, if we go to the screen, is by going to the companies feature. Okay. And then, as you have a list of companies to work for, I mean, you've just listed off a few of them. You type in the company's name, and I'm going to type in EMC.
Okay. And this is going to search your contacts,
and this is
right?
going to search my contacts.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I do not have a first-degree contact at EMC.
Okay.
However, if I were interested in contacting the senior corporate recruiter, I know 2 people who are connected to that person as a first-degree contact.
Okay.
What I would want to do is, first of all...
And can you show that again, how to find that section on companies? Because I don't think I've ever used that before. Okay, go ahead.
Well, companies is in the top toolbar.
Okay.
So you click on companies, and then you search for a company. Okay. I pulled up EMC and wanted to know if I have a first-degree contact there.
Yep.
Well, I don't. But let's say I want to get a hold of this person right here, Jordan. What I could do is click on his profile and try to add Jordan to my network, or I could get an introduction.
Okay.
Now, with my 2 first-degree contacts, I could either choose Teresa or Matt LeBlanc. Okay. I'll ask for an introduction, and I'm going to type a letter to both Matt and also the person who I'd like to contact.
Okay.
And this is probably the most proper way to contact someone in a company in terms of getting your resume or your profile in front of them. This I really believe is probably the best feature of LinkedIn in terms of networking online.
That's awesome, because like I said, I've never gone under that company's heading before, but what I have done is always go to the advanced search box and then put in the name of the company and then say, my contacts, my connections, or whatever, and then just search that way. So that's great. I didn't even know that feature was there, so that's awesome. So, and have you heard any stories about people doing that successfully?
Yes. I've heard stories about people both getting interviews as a result and, resulting perhaps in a job. But I've also heard stories, cute little stories about people, viewing their desired contact and seeing what perhaps they do for hobbies and interests. And when they get to the interview, then they have some talking points. They can talk about that person's, the interviewer's hobbies and interests, and that leads to a good interview.
I've never even thought to do the Google search on hobbies.
Yeah,
I've always thought,
know.
I should see what this person is into or what their online persona is, but I've never thought to do it specifically for hobbies. But, okay. Why don't we talk about in our remaining few minutes here, talk about the Career Center as well as branding. Earlier you said that having an effective LinkedIn profile is helping to brand you as an individual. Why don't we talk about that, and then quickly the Career Center. We talked about having a great profile. What else should people do to brand themselves? You mentioned a blog. What else can people do?
Well, yeah, a blog, and then getting yourself noticed by answering questions.
Okay.
Essentially, just sending out a consistent message.
Okay.
Some people say, well, my profile should be my resume. That's not necessarily true. Your profile should be different than your resume in that it offers more information that wouldn't otherwise be found on your resume. But at the same time, the information that's on both documents, the resume and the profile, should be consistent, and they should send out a positive message about the job seeker.
Okay. Okay, and about the Career Center, of course, all the Career Centers are listed at mass.gov/DOL. So if anybody's looking for a Career Center in Massachusetts, again, that's mass.gov/DOL, like Department of Labor. But how should a job seeker use the Career Center's services that are out there here in Massachusetts?
That's a good question. Thanks for asking. In order to use the services, first of all, they must become a member of the Career Center.
Okay.
And to do that, they have to attend a CCS/Career Action Plan seminar. It's a painless 2-hour process, but afterwards, then they can attend the workshops, and we offer about 20 workshops.
Okay. Can you talk about the workshops that they offer?
Sure. Other than the LinkedIn workshops, we have computer workshops, of course, resume writing, advanced resume writing, cover letters, interview techniques, behavioral interviewing, mature worker. So we offer a big variety of workshops that could be helpful to the job seekers in terms of conducting the proper job search.
Okay, and correct me if I'm wrong, but all the classes are different, or not, I should say not necessarily the same at all the Career Centers across Massachusetts, right? Okay.
No, each facilitator has a different way of presenting the material and also, designing the material.
Okay. In terms of your LinkedIn group that you had out of the Lowell Career Center,
sure.
What is it? How do people find it?
Okay, the name is Career Center of Lowell Networkers.
Okay.
And in order to be part of the group, I only ask that you're a member of a career center in the state of Massachusetts. Secondly, that you have your profile, filled out, all of the sections. And then lastly, that you have at least 2 connections. It's not really hard. Yeah.
Okay. And again,
and I also have 2 managers that help me, Joyce Faffard and John Nojim, and they've been a great help in terms of helping monitor the group.
Beautiful, and I know both of those people. And Joyce, of course, is here working teleprompter. So beautiful.
Right.
Okay. And so, what's the name of the LinkedIn group again?
Okay. Career Center of Lowell Networkers.
Okay.
And all you need to do is go to search, click on groups, and then type in that name, and you'll see the group appear.
Okay, and you are at the Lowell Career Center?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
So if people want to find you.
Career Center of Lowell, but...
Career Center of Lowell,
yeah,
yes.
That's okay.
Okay, well, Bob McIntosh, thank you again for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
And again, this is the New England Job Show. My name is Brian Henchy. Thank you for watching today. Good day.